I think Tim Cook is doing a very good job. Let me be clear on that. I think he has impossibly large shoes to fill with Steve Jobs, but it's also a very large company. And once one of these companies gets to be this big, it is actually incredibly hard to innovate and do something new that is of a scale that's large enough to move the dial. So when you're making $150 billion a year selling iPhones, even if you come up with some new product that makes $1 million or even $1 billion a year, that's just not gonna move the dial. And so I think when people think about what is Apple stock really worth, the central question I think is how dominant does the iPhone stay for how long? And so it's not so much about Apple Pay or Apple Watches. It's really this question of are they going to be able to maintain the lead on the smartphone product for many years to come. And they've been doing a better job at that than one might have thought possible 3-4 years ago. I think there's a whole wave of innovation around the mobile internet at this point. And so there's a question, how do you get payments to work on mobile devices? It's very natural for Apple to try to integrate a payment solution into the iPhone as it is doing. The challenge is always one of adoption. You always have this chicken and egg problem, so you need both the consumers and the businesses to adopt it. It doesn't make sense for the consumers to have it if no business uses it. It doesn't make sense for the business to have it if consumers aren't using it. And so there's always this very tricky chicken and egg problem. I think the best answer I normally find is that you find some early adoption where there's a very intense need. PayPal was among eBay power sellers, where the next best alternative was getting a check, which took 7 to 10 days. And so the challenge is that even though we can envision a better, more seamless payment system, there already are large parts of it that work reasonably well. Cash works reasonably well. Credit cards work reasonably well. They're not perfectly safe. There's all sorts of issues with them. But getting something that's perfect as opposed to just very good, often there's some real challenges in getting the adoption.